They're incredibly responsive. They're delightful people to work with, and then when the work comes back, it's always been much faster than I've ever anticipated. Matter of fact, we had a situation not long ago where we were working with a material that was new to us, and we were trying to figure out, because we knew that the equipment that they had there would not model in the material that we were ultimately going to be working with. We really didn't know how to solve it. All we knew is that we needed to go get to those guys and see if they could help us at least get an angle on how to solve the problem. Well, Randy says, let me take this and think about it a little while and I'll get back with you. So what's he do? He goes and reverses the whole process, uses their equipment to help to create, in effect, a mold for this other material. In a very short period of time, we were able to get a prototype out of material that was very similar to what we were going to be working with. They were able to leverage the equipment and the capabilities that they had in a way that we didn't even dream of. So they're creative, they're very, very responsive, and they're delightful to work with. We just really kind of gotten started, if you will, with the team at the engineering technology group. My guess would be that in the short period of time on a handful of early projects that we've done, that there'd be somewhere, my expectation would be that, or estimate would be that probably 50 to 60 jobs full-time, certainly in this area, manufacturing related predominantly. And with the first handful of projects, we're expecting at the 4 to 5 year point that each one of those are going to be $8 to $15 million products. So, with a little quick math and estimates, against 5 or 6 projects, we're probably talking about, I would think, economic impact of $50+ million for sure. You probably don't have the time to hear the number of examples specifically I could cite whereby leveraging the capability of the center against the needs that our clients have delivered substantial value. But if I were to pick one or two, I would say maybe the first one would be we were in the midst of developing, and actually this product is not far from coming to the market today, a new device used in anesthesia or for the anesthesiologist or CRNA to assist in stabilizing the mandible or the jawbone of a patient that's under inhaled anesthesia. And that is a very important element of maintaining an open airway for breathing for patients that don't have a tube down or that aren't intubated. And as a consequence of that development project, we had an early design, and we were able to take that to the folks at the Center for Engineering Technologies. I fully expected that it would probably be a week, 10 days, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks before we could have a tangible sample, and then questioned whether or not the sample that we got back from the center would actually be something that we could go actually test in the actual setting. Well, as it turns out, now that was one of the first projects we'd done with them, but as it turns out, we had a physical prototype in, I believe, a day. It might have been a day and a half, but I think it was a day. And the material characteristics were such, after the engineering team down there understood what we were out to do with it, we were able to find a way to take that 1 or 2 prototype samples that they developed for us and actually cover those in a material that kept them clean and mitigated any potential for cross-contamination. But we were actually able to use those prototypes for testing, not only on the design, but then on the material. So it became even more robust there. So I think that the cycles, I believe in that project we were through 3 development cycles. And I think that we were at the end of the 3rd development cycle within about 2 weeks. Okay, so that included handing off a preliminary design, getting the prototyping in a day, then testing it, then redesigning it, then re-prototyping it, and then retesting it and finalizing the design. So that 3-week period of time would have taken us probably 3 to 4 months. So we'll see what the revenues and earnings become on this product, but suffice to say it's easy to document what that value would be. We're in the midst of another one, which is also another anesthesia design for a specialty application in oral surgery, and we're seeing the same kind of thing happen. So it's fabulous. Working with the folks and the entire team at the Center for Engineering Technologies has absolutely been a joy. It's routinely been, when we'd have a project come together, we're doing all of the work that we can on our end as it relates to that phase and the design. And when it comes to the point that we need to have some interaction with the folks down at the center, typically I'm calling thinking, well, you know, when over the next week or two can you fit us in? And I'm talking to Randy or to Sid or one of the people down there, and then, well, could you get here this afternoon? You know, they're always willing to make time for us, and it's not always that day, but it's never more than a few days. And when we get down there, it seems like we get right to it and we have all the questions answered, or if we've got a few that we need to get answers to. They're incredibly responsive. They're delightful people to work with. Well, in terms of the impact to, you know, the broader business climate or broader business environment here regionally, I think that the impacts that the North Carolina Center for Engineering Technologies could bring is nearly limitless, to be candid about it. I believe that, you know, some steps had been taken early on. This is my opinion. Some steps were taken early on, shortly after the establishment of the center down there, to reach out to folks in various industries in this region to try to, if nothing else, expose people like myself to the capabilities there. I'm sure that there has been a vast differential, if you will, in the either interest level or the focus on the part of business people to make it their business to go down and get to know the personnel there and the capabilities that they have. I would tell you, though, I've never met anyone that has gone down there, and I've referred several people to go just peek under the tent and see what's going on there. I've not met anybody that's gone down and met the team and seen the capabilities that hasn't been duly impressed and very excited about what the impacts might be to them and their business. You know, a very dear friend of mine that's in the furniture business, which couldn't be further from my work, went down and spent some time with them and came back. When I spoke with them afterwards, they had a list of 4 or 5 things that they thought were value extracts for them that could make a big impact. So in terms of numerically across other industries that I don't know well, any estimate numerically might be, you know, would be very difficult for me to come up with. But I'm certain, if nothing else, if you take the expectations I have for what we could do here in my industry, and we're a very small component of this region and community here, I would think that it would be hundreds of millions of dollars. Our plans in working with the team down there at the center really are to grow the relationship. And recently we've met with Sid and Randy and some of the folks down there to begin to map out in early terms what our relationship will look like and what the ongoing and routine methods are that they'd like for us to employ as we're working on various projects, how to correctly onboard them now that they're becoming busier and demands on their time and capabilities are beginning to grow. So our expectation, my expectation is that as we move into onboarding new clients in our business, if the relationship with our client involves elements of design or the pre-manufacturing or pre-production level development, that it will be an expectation on our part that the client will embrace this, and very early in the process of onboarding new clients, we'll be going down to meet the team down there so that our clients understand how fundamental it is to what we're doing, and they understand the way we're communicating with the folks down there and are involved.